to another edition of Ignite News. I'm Jennifer Taylor.
And I'm Alex Sempe.
It's been a difficult week at Mohawk for media students.
Recent floods have left students and staff scrambling to find a replacement room.
Late Sunday afternoon, early evening, a pipe burst in the penthouse, mechanical penthouse above F-Wing, and water started cascading down into the spaces below, flooded out a number of offices, classrooms, labs, and into the TV studios down below.
Well, right now, no student can walk in the door of F108. So as you can see where I'm located here, I've made like a temporary desk kiosk area. So anybody who's returning gear has to basically do it right here because we can't go into F108 at all.
There was a lot of water damage on the floor. We're trying to assess the damage to the equipment right now. Like the floors and carpeting and offices and ceiling tiles, that's very easy to estimate the damage there. What we don't know is the extent of the equipment damage on our lab equipment. So what we're going to do now is bring in contractors, go through each individual piece of equipment one by one, make sure it's operating properly. If not, tag it saying it has to be replaced or get rebuilt, and then go through the rest of it.
It really is a big inconvenience for the journalism students. We go out weekly covering broadcast and news stories, and without the equipment, we aren't able to go out as fast as we want because not all of us have our own equipment, so we do rely on the equipment room for sure.
Well, right now we're not sure when they'll be able to get back in there. We're drying the carpets now and assessing some of the damage with the equipment and the control room to see when we can start having classes again. So right now we don't know, but we are making arrangements to have students have classes in alternate classrooms and blended learning. So the learning environment in terms of the student learning will still take place.
It's Remembrance Day here at Mohawk. It's also been a year since the tragic death of Corporal Nathan Cirillo.
Here's how the Hamilton community gathered in remembrance.
This year marked the 97th annual Remembrance Day Memorial Service in Hamilton. Hamiltonians gathered at Gore Park to honor those who have fought and died for our country.
I mean, these people, a lot of people gave their lives to allow us the freedoms that we experience today. Both my parents were in the Second World War, and I followed them into the military myself.
Remembrance Day is a special day for people to reflect on our freedom.
Just to be thankful and grateful for the life we have. To me, it's personal, and we come from a family of people who served, and I'm wearing a scarf that my father-in-law made me. He was a veteran, and my dad was.
Gore Park was full of thankful Hamiltonians on Wednesday morning, paying tribute to veterans who risked their own lives for Canadians.
It was a great service, a great turnout. The people from the city of Hamilton, what can you say? It's a great turnout, a great feeling to see that many people, and a great feeling to stand in front of the crowd and recite in Flanders Fields. And as I look about, I see all the faces and the smiles and all the poppies and everything else. It really means something.
Oh, I thought it was an amazing turnout. So many Hamiltonians came out to not only respect and remember those who have served on our behalf around the world in conflict and in peacekeeping, but those who are still currently serving. It is an important day for us to remember the sacrifices that not only the veterans and the current officers make, but also the families and the sacrifices that they've made as well.
For Mohawk College Journalism, I'm Christina Costable.
You know, Jennifer, this is actually a really special place for Mohawk.
I hear that it will be an outdoor classroom next year.
Reporter Hunter Leyland has the story.
Students and staff of Mohawk College, along with Six Nations representatives, gathered Monday at Mohawk's new Indigenous gathering space to celebrate the signing of the Indigenous Education Protocol for colleges and institutes. This initiative was signed by Mohawk's president, Ron McCurley, Mohawk Board Chair Joe Parker, and Minister of Aboriginal Affairs, David Zimmer.
The protocol has 7 elements to it. If we can somehow build those 7 elements into Aboriginal education and indeed build those 7 elements into the new relationship that we want to build between Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal peoples, that's a very good thing, and that's a very good place to get to.
It will take some time, but Mohawk's already started on implementing this protocol.
We're going to start by incorporating it in a program, and so we won't start with every program for all students, but over time it may grow to more programs as well.
For the Aboriginal students, it connects them to who they are. So knowing who you were, who you are, is a big part of becoming a person as a whole.
Before creation, before time,
Reporting from Mohawk College Journalism, I'm Hunter Leyland.
our Creator spent some time putting things together. And we were told that when we come together to do good things, that we're supposed to give thanks.
Now they're prepping for post-secondary fitness future.
High school students came out to Mohawk to test their fitness and wellness.
The Health, Wellness, and Justice Studies hosted their 5th annual Fit for the Future event at Mohawk College. Marty McLeod is Professor of Justice and Wellness.
We bring a bunch of area high schools in to experience the college, mainly for a competition. But they also get to meet all the students who are volunteers. So if there's any discussion about, what program do you take and that sort of thing, that's an extra bonus. So they do fitness protocols, emergency services fitness protocols, and spend a day doing that. And we provide them with lunch, and we also give them some great prizes. Well, we have everything from what firefighters would experience for fitness testing to police, Ontario Police, RCMP as well, and also correctional officers. So these are basically the protocols that we teach students who are going through the justice fields, so that when they go out into the field and experience a job interview or get hired and they have to fulfill those types of physical testing, they've already experienced it here and already passed those specific tests.
Catherine Goodenough is one of the student volunteers.
I thought it was great, and they really enjoyed themselves. At least they looked like they enjoyed themselves. And I thought it was good too to get some of the kids, like every single one, I told them, like, you should consider like justice or wellness program for college, because they were good at it, and it's a huge component.
It was a lot of fun. It was good competition. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Reporting from Mohawk College Journalism, I'm Han Vo.
Hey Alex, are you into gaming at all?
Am I into gaming?
Well, here at Mohawk there's a gaming club, and had we known, we probably would have checked it out.
I certainly would have.
The Melee Club is a club where you can interact with other students while playing Super Smash Brothers.
It's a GameCube fighting game that's like, it's of a series, but the GameCube one is arguably the best with the most technical skill needed to actually play it. So pretty much just, if you want to come, bring a GameCube controller. Even if you don't have one, we have lots like that people can use. And yeah, we just have fun playing games.
If you want a friendly, competitive place to play, then the Melee Club is right for you.
It's just super casual, like, not that these guys aren't good enough, it's just, it's a really relaxed setting. I don't feel pressured or anything here, and it's just, it's really fun, the environment.
The founder says that the club has taken off in the past year and will continue to grow.
Emailing is always a good way to contact me. We also have a Facebook group, Melee at Mohawk, just on Facebook, so if you just type that into the search bar, you'll be able to find us.
The Melee Club meets every Monday at 2 to 4 in the club's room across from Urban Fork.
I'd say it's just a bunch of people, girls and guys, getting around playing some classic video games. Nothing, no screaming, no controller throwing or rage quitting, anything like that. It's just plain fun.
For Mohawk College Journalism, I'm Tori Bellissimo.
A new documentary takes Hamiltonians inside a controversial incident that recently happened at City Hall.
Reporter Liz Chernochenko has the story.
The Hamilton Film Festival brought to surface a controversial local documentary called The Push. The Push takes a deeper look into City Hall culture by means of an ongoing disputed incident where local independent journalist Joey Coleman was shoved by Councillor Lloyd Ferguson back in 2014. The film portrays Coleman's previously undisclosed account of the incident and its fallout. Coleman provides full-time coverage of City Council and committee meetings, and has been unable to continue his work since August because of what he describes as hostile working conditions. There were a few notable reactions to the film after its premiere.
This should be an opportunity for people to realize that more people should get involved in city politics.
It was a pretty fair representation.
I think the film itself is basically just a come on, let's get this sorted out.
The actual video evidence of the incident has not yet been released to the public. Persons in the video have a right to appeal on grounds of privacy concerns. By his own process of elimination, Coleman believes that person to be Ferguson himself.
The more we know, the better on any topic. And again, I call on Councillor Ferguson to drop his appeal of the release of the security video. And for the security video to be released, it's neutral evidence. It will determine exactly what occurred.
former city councillor Brad Clark was interviewed in detail for the film as an unprecedented whistleblower.
Where he irritated people is he brought a camera into public meetings.
Filmmaker Cody Lanktree explains what he hoped to accomplish with the production.
What I would have wanted out of this film is to, at the end of it, sit down with Lloyd Ferguson and Joey Coleman and talk and see how it comes right.
And now all residents have to do is sit back and see what kind of ripples this documentary release will cause. Reporting for Mohawk College Journalism, I'm Liz Chernachenko.
Art is a pretty big deal here at Mohawk and increasingly the Hamilton community.
Recently, reporter Tanya Guerra went down to Earls Court Gallery to check out their challenging new exhibit.
Playing Strange is the name of the current exhibit at Earls Court Gallery, and it is far from ordinary. It features many very unique pieces of art, the most talked about being a piece by Marcello Sanzibar called Staring Through.
Perhaps the most, the one that I want to sort of try and figure out, and it's more difficult.
Mike, I can't understand those two. It looks a little bit like Magritte, you know, the two horses, right? And that has probably a lot of symbolism, but I don't know him, so I don't know the symbolism there, or if there is any, I assume there is some.
Referring to the figure in the background looking through a window, Sanzibar explains his painting.
When the people try to see something behind the window, they can discover it's something unexpected, something different, no? But the characters, very surreal, very magic, is one of my series.
The exhibit also features artwork by 3 other artists and is running until November 21st. Reporting for Mohawk College Journalism, I'm Tanya Guerra.
And you know, it's not just visual art that's on the rise. Hamilton's also becoming a hub for fashion designers and their work.
And more recently, our fashion reporter Alex Sempe had the pleasure of checking out Hamilton fashion.
Alex Sempe, you know, she's really wonderful and talented.
Shut up, Alex.
From November 5th to November 7th, Hamilton hosted its 2nd annual Fashion Week. Many local designers came out and had their wares paraded down the catwalk.
I've been designing for about 3 years now, self-taught. I'm now at George Brown College and studying fashion techniques and design. It's amazing. I mean, like I said, I'm glad that it's, over, I guess you can say, but I'm happy that everybody liked it, especially the finale. I'm glad everybody enjoyed that. Just to see all my creations at the end is definitely worth the no sleeping.
It's the fall collection of 2016, and it's a collection that usually I don't have an inspiration of a sort, like, usually designers go for, something from the ocean or the sky as an inspiration, but I don't usually have an inspiration. It's mostly the woman that inspires me, and when I design, I always think in mind what I want to wear and what a woman in general would want to wear, a woman who is confident, strong, and just keep those thoughts in mind. And I usually go from one idea where I start on one piece, and then it just evolves. It keeps going, that it makes a story that way.
The models for Fashion Week were all local people proudly showing off the latest designs.
Yes, I walked for a couple people. I walked for Fabrici, Zia Zamora, and the last one I did was for Lexi Nell River. I always screw up that one, but it was so much fun walking with all of those models and the designers, seeing like all the work that they put into their clothes, and it's gorgeous. And like to be able to have this in a town where people don't always get to see such fun, exciting fashions, to bring it to life is really just the best thing for me. I enjoy it so much, and I'm so happy, and I just love being surrounded by talent and inspiration. Fashion Week has been all sorts of amazing, like just above and beyond my expectations.
Would you do this again next year?
Always. Like, I will have it tattooed across my chest. No, I will of course be doing I'd love to stick involved with it, and I just want to see it continue to evolve and continue to grow, and maybe hopefully eventually we could become one of the big fashion weeks that we hear. Like, I figure Toronto has their big fashion week, Paris, New York, wherever, but this time it's our turn, so it's something for me that's really important that I want to see really grow and expand.
I was in all of these shows tonight. I'm having a lot of fun here, getting to meet a lot of new designers, up and coming Hamilton designers, having a great time. I feel like in the last few years, the arts and fashion district have really grown in Hamilton. I do have a passion for fashion. Since I was very, very young, I've been a little diva, and it's carried on up until now. Fashion Week was awesome. It was amazing.
Fashion Week went really well. We're excited. We had so many amazing designers. We had 20 very unique sort of shows that have happened, all in consecutive order, and it's been amazing. The fashion, the talent, all the people involved have just been incredible.
Reporting for Mohawk College Journalism, I'm Alex Sempe.
The 5th Annual Steel City Jazz Festival took place recently at the Artwood Art Bar. Chris Ferguson is the coordinator of the event.
Well, first of all, I think there's a great jazz community in Hamilton. A lot of it's centered around the Mohawk Music Jazz program, just because there's a lot of faculty members there, obviously, who are great musicians, but also a lot of students who are looking for opportunities to go out and play and kind of get involved in the local music scene. So there's a lot of great musicians around. And they do play around all year, but I think it's nice to have kind of a showcase event focused on them. I think it's maybe a little easier for new audience members to go out to something with a festival atmosphere than it is necessarily for them to just go check out a show throughout the year. So I hope that each year, we have some people who are coming out to jazz shows for the first time and who are getting introduced to some of the great artists from Hamilton.
Scott Tapley graduated Mohawk's music program and his band opened the 10-day festival. He describes his music as,
it's got some elements of jazz, it's got some elements of rock, so I guess it's like jazz fusion, modern jazz / modern jazz or something like that. I don't know, because I've been thinking about this a lot actually. There's not a lot of harmony going on, which is like kind of counter jazz, but there's tons of improvisation, which is totally jazz, So I would say it's jazz, but what is jazz really? I don't. I think definitely one of the most important things I learned was that to not be afraid to just create music that you can express yourself with.
I mean, first and foremost, I just hope that they enjoy the music. But beyond that, that's kind of like an easy answer. Beyond that, I hope that they maybe recognize that there's so much talent, like in our backyard here in Hamilton. There's tons of great musicians and great venues like Artwood Art Bar and the Pearl Company and other ones that are hosting jazz on a regular basis. So I hope maybe it inspires some people to come out some more.
Reporting for Mohawk College Journalism, I'm Han Vo.
We're here at the Debark Recreation Center where all of Mohawk's varsity teams have come on out to practice and get ready for their big games.
One team that we don't have is a hockey team, but you bet that if we did, we would definitely want to play the Russians. It's been a bitter rivalry for almost 50 years.
Recently, that rivalry headed down to a Brampton arena.
The Cruisers Cup, North America's biggest sledge hockey tournament, took place at the South Fletcher Sportsplex in Brampton this weekend. The first day's featured game pitted a host team, the Halton Region Cruiser Red Dogs, against Ladoga, Team Russia, in the C Division. Under the watchful eye of Russian Federation Ambassador to Canada Alexander Darshiev, Ladoga's center Sergei Markarov scored off the opening faceoff, one of his 8 goals during the game. Russian captain Stanisław Berykin added 5 goals of his own. The Red Dogs did their best to fight off the Ladoga onslaught, but the speed and skill of the team from Russia was much too hard to handle, leading to a final score of 13-0. The lone bright spot for the Red Dogs was the play of goaltender Brett Wills, who enjoyed the challenge of facing the highly regarded Russian team and did not mind the extra work in net.
I put a lot of pressure on myself in everyday life anyway, so it's really nothing that I'm not used to. We knew that we were going to be in tough. We didn't know how tough. Obviously, they're from Russia. We hadn't seen them before. Took a lot of shots. Honestly, I had a lot of fun.
Head coach and organizer of the event, Ken Hall, was not concerned about the result of the first game. He was impressed with his team's competitiveness and hopeful that they would be able to refocus for their next game in the tournament.
Oh, half of them will forget about it as soon as they get off the ice, and half is their disability. And then the other half, they'll think about it the whole weekend. It will eat at them. And those are the guys that we struggle with trying to get to be just focused on the game at hand. You know, hockey's hockey. I mean, it's a sport, right? It doesn't matter if you're playing this, you're playing visually impaired hockey, you're playing special needs hockey, amputee hockey. It's all the same. Brett, our goalie, he played phenomenal today. He really, even though the score didn't show it, he made some incredible saves. And I just hope that he's one of the guys that'll eat at, as a typical goalie. And I played goalie, so I know that it'll tend to eat at you. But hopefully he lets that game go and then just trust that his defense will help him out. We'll play much better next game.
The Cruiser Cup marks the beginning of the season for the Red Dogs. They look forward to competing at the Blizzard Invitational in London, Ontario, early next year.
Reporting from Mohawk College Journalism, I'm Jimmy Goldenberg.
It may not be as intense as Russia versus Canada, but recently Mohawk's varsity men and women's volleyball teams went up against their hated rivals at St. Clair College.
The men's volleyball team defeated St. Clair 3-0 in their home opener. The team rallied after losing starting left side Max Anderson to an ankle injury.
In face of early adversity, I thought we did a heck of a job. I thought we executed the game plan very well, which allowed us to find really good opportunities to be in system and in offense. I thought we made it tough for St. Clair to find opportunities to score the ball. My mantra with these guys this year, because we've had a lot of injuries early, was next man up. And I always tell my guys, whatever happens, if someone's off one night, if someone gets hurt, any case, the next guy's got to be ready. So when we're training, if your number gets called, my expectation is that you execute.
Ben Tonin replaced Anderson, taking the court in a position he does not play.
It went my way. There's parts of my game that I felt like could have been better. It's never good coming off the floor because one of your teammates gets injured, so it's tough to refocus. And I'm worried about his well-being and stuff. But we rallied up, and the boys played a solid game, so I can't complain.
Eric Gerard, playing in his first Mohawk game, had 10 kills. He believes preparation and having a solid game plan gave Mohawk the advantage.
I just don't think they were prepared and ready for what we had to offer, and we came over top and just did what we had to do, took care of the game plan, and we executed.
The team has started their season on a 4-game winning streak, and their next home game is November 14th against Humber. Reporting for Mohawk College Journalism, I'm John Ray.
It was a well-paced but ultimately disappointing game for Mohawk's women's volleyball team last Saturday, after facing the St. Clair Saints, who won 3-0.
It's a big eye-opener. I think they're a very smart team. They were picking out spots on the court that we weren't covering and playing our weaknesses really well.
I felt we should have played better. We're a better team, and we just had an off game. We needed to communicate more and just play more aggressively and smarter.
At the end of the day, you've got to play consistent volleyball. We gave a lot of points to that team, so we just didn't play very well.
But despite the game's outcome, the team is still staying positive.
No, it doesn't make any difference to us because we're 2-2 now. St. Clair's 2-2. And we've got a game against Sheridan on Wednesday. Win that one with 3-2. So it's early in the season. It's 4 games in. It won't make much of a difference.
It shows us what we have to work on, like communication and all that. But I don't think we're going to let it stop us. We just know we have to work harder next time.
With the season still underway, the team is now ready for whatever comes next. For Mohawk Journalism, I'm Ben Diamond.
Behind us, you can see students grabbing some lunch, perhaps a burger.
Well, I wouldn't know anything about that. I'm vegetarian.
Well, there's one way that you can eat a burger and feel good about it.
Novemberger is back in Hamilton for a second straight year thanks to popular demand. Martinez Galenzi, the man behind the festival, says the time was right for Novemberger.
In the case of Novemberger, it really came along at a time where it was possible to run a burger festival in Hamilton because years previous may not have worked. I mean, the food scene in Hamilton is relatively new. It's been exploding recently. We wanted to take advantage of that. And Novemberger, I think, it's a great showpiece for a lot of Hamilton restaurants, which are new and could use that extra exposure.
Patricia Roque, the general manager of the family-owned and operated Acclamation, was eager for the return of the festival.
There's lots of benefits to being part of Novemberger. Of
course, number one is giving back to the United Way. Also, just being part of this fun and time. There's lots of Twitter going on, lots of voting, lots of people posting pictures. So it's just a great experience.
And the restaurant wanted to have a new burger for this year's festival.
We have a AAA ground beef, and it's lightly seasoned, and then we grill it off, and we have a lobster poached butter that we melt and pour it on top when it's finished. We also added a Gouda cheese. It's melted in the oven on top, and then a fresh arugula with a lemon caper aioli.
And Roque says that Acclamation saw an increase in food sales during the festival last year.
Definitely in our burger sales, I think there is a definite increase in sales. People are coming in specifically for the November burger. You're getting to know a lot of restaurants that maybe you wouldn't even know about because they're part of this. So it's a great experience for everyone and definitely a benefit for the restaurant.
With the festival raising $7,000 last year for United Way and a goal this year of reaching $10,000, Galenci has one thing to say to Hamiltonians.
Go and eat Novembergers.
Reporting for Mohawk College Journalism, I'm Alex Smythe.
That's all for this week's edition of Ignite News. I'm Jennifer Taylor.
And I'm Alex Sempe. Join us next week to find out what's happening around Mohawk and around Hamilton.